it starts to bleed into resentment. It starts to bleed into stress.
After going through a divorce, I went through a very rough employment experience that kind of led to everything else crumbling for me. But it was because everything needed to crumble.
I'm on my ish. Now, time out because
Flag on the play.
I wish I had something to throw right here. Hold on. Because normally when someone says I'm on my ish, they are trying not to use another word that some may deem profane in nature.
Cool emoji.
But this man said I'm on my ish identity, systems, and habits.
Yes, sir.
Man.
I'm glad it rocks with somebody else, man. Maybe I put it on a shirt next, huh?
Man, identity, systems, and habits. I'm on my ish. Oh my goodness. All right, back to the spiritual. Back to the spiritual. You put it very eloquently. I think that there's always a misconception about religion and spirituality. And when I think of spirituality, I simply think about purpose and meaning. That is innately, you can take, and this is getting a bit, whatever you subscribe to from a religion standpoint, somebody else can be over here, but their purpose and meaning can be lockstep. They just go about it in a different way. So I can't really add more to it than that, just besides that purpose and meaning, and we rocking with being on your ish. We rocking with that. We
on that, huh?
With that one. Yeah, I'm on that one.
I rock with that. I appreciate that, man. Well, the last one, and honestly, I put this one last, and maybe it's because I've been unwell in this space for a very long time, and this was the thing that kind of catapulted me into where we are today. Some challenges in the workplace. Occupational wellness, that's career alignment, work-life balance, burnout prevention. I had a very, very after going through a divorce, I went through a very, very rough employment experience that kind of led to everything else crumbling for me. But it was because everything needed to crumble. Everything else wasn't balanced or harmonious that was able to make that happen. But occupational wellness is something that is important. We got to be able to take care of ourselves. We got to be able to take care of our families. We've got to be able to provide for ourselves. Otherwise, all those other areas are going to suffer in some way, shape, or form. In case you live in some utopian space where you don't need to generate some form of income, so that you can get food, clothing, shelter, and the other things that are necessary to be healthy. How about you?
Man, this one is actually, it's kind of hitting me right now when I think about occupational wellness, and I say that because it goes to that kind of that value. Obviously, your occupation, what you choose to generate income, is important for other reasons: food, clothing, shelter, entertainment, things of that nature. But you spend so much time at this occupation, and if you do not or cannot find some sort of meaning, value, joy, a why, some level of impact in what it is that you have chosen for your occupation, it starts to bleed into resentment. It starts to bleed into stress. And capitalism,
Hmm.
that's a whole
I
different
meant I meant to mention that.
that's a whole
Yep.
different um you know capitalism is a catalyst for a lot of occupational dysfunction.
There you go.
um
Especially predatory capitalism.
so um there's a larger, there's a larger issue that many of us can't necessarily control, but we can control our own universe and our center of influence and things of that nature. And I think that's where um, that occupational wellness can really rear its positive head. But many of us don't get that opportunity to even think about that because we're these other seven one of these other one or two of these other seven things are just simply taking too much of our attention, or so um but all of these are extremely important, in harmony, in balance. um Being able to shift that weight to keep yourselves upright um on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. And speaking of, uh, I got a question because
Mhm.
we kind of went over these, and we'll go into these more in depth. Um, but I would ask the audience, what dimension right now is quietly costing you the most?
Good
Which one
question.
of those eight that we just discussed is quietly costing you right now?
It's a great question. What? And I'll tell you for me, I'm not sure. That's one I'm going to have to think about. And actually, I think we've got a resource that may help us figure that out that we've co-developed here. We've got our first 8D wellness resources, the 8D Wellness Scorecard, and that is basically going to ask you questions, ask you to kind of rate where you stand with each of your different dimensions, and you can answer that question more easily than just pulling an answer or a rabbit out of the hat. I think it's a lot easier when you can look at your answers and look at your thoughts on paper or on a screen and take the time to analyze that answer. And I think this, when it comes to personal wellness, it's important to take the time to do that as opposed to just giving a one-off answer, because these are things that we need to look at not just in one moment when you ask the question, but continually. And I'd like to get feedback on the scorecard, see how it's helpful for others. I'm going to definitely look at it. I'm going to give myself the first run at it and see how I'm able to be able to improve. But I think this is something that should be done on a routine basis. I want to look at it. How am I this month? How am I next month? Because this month it may be in the realm of finance where I'm struggling. Next month it may be that I'm physically ill. And knock on wood, that's not going to be the case. But I think it's important to check in with yourself and give yourself a checkup routinely, and not wait for a doctor or a therapist to be the person that does that for you.
Absolutely. And that's why I think that resource is very powerful. It may seem simple. It may seem, uh, in many cases, it may be daunting to sit and say, I am this in my financial area. I always like to say, um, you can lie to someone else, but you can't lie to yourself. So when you are, we'll link the resource in the show notes, and we'll tell you where you can get that resource from. But it's very powerful to check in with yourself, um, and as we continue as a community to build each of these dimensions up for ourselves, for one another, having that ability to say, this past month, I just wasn't there, or this past month spiritually, I just couldn't find purpose. Like, and have those conversations honestly and openly, to be able to do those, to have those conversations in a environment that is that is there to lift you up and not break you down is so important. So um, I would implore to answer the question, which one of these dimensions is holding you back, or which one of these dimensions are you lacking in, and use that resource.
Yeah, absolutely. It's absolutely free too. So don't worry about anything like that. Just give yourself the feedback. And if you'd like to share your thoughts, tap in with
Yeah.
us.
Hop in the comments. You know, whatever the case may be.
If you're not
Contact.
comfortable in the comments, send us a DM.
Yep,
If you want to tap in and check out if we need to create a space to come together, if that helps, maybe there are opportunities for that. Let's see how we engage. Let's see how we connect. Let's see what there's a need for, what there's a hunger for.
absolutely, absolutely. That's what this space is for. So,
Absolutely. Well, it's been beautiful talking to you again, brother. As always, man. I appreciate you, man.
yes, sir. Appreciate you. Looking forward to diving into these dimensions individually. I think there can be some very deep conversations. Looking forward to adding some other voices to the conversation as well. Because once again, we're not perfect. We're not trying to be. They say it's more than one way to skin a cat and all those other things. So we want to be able to offer other voices, subject matter experts, individuals who are going through things or have overcome things the same way that you all have and the same way that we have, to be able to expand this conversation outside of just us two, and to the broader community. So looking forward to that.
Absolutely, man. Until next time, man. No perfect people.
Just better moves.
Let's make one together. All right, man. How you feel?
Feeling good.
Yeah. Any follow-up thoughts?
No, we clipping ish, man. I don't care what we clipping ish. That's got to be clipped like that.
Appreciate that.
That's a bar, yo.
I appreciate that, man. I've been really thinking about that. And I've been kind of thinking about building I've been working on developing some content around that already too. So I'm glad that resonated. I got the first piece is already out there. That actually is one of my best performing pieces, where I've got the most engagement, the most meaningful interactions with people in a long time. So it's good to hear that feedback from you too, man.
Oh yeah, that's a like whenever, like, yeah, that was a man. Identity systems and habits. I'm on my ish. My goodness.
No perfect people, just better moves.